It's Dr. Ana Morales, and today we have another SAT question. So let's begin. The function f is defined by f of x equals 2 times x to the third power plus 3 times x squared plus c times x plus 8, where c is a constant. In the x and y plane, the graph of f intersects the x-axis at 3 different points. So here are the points. What is the value of c? Okay, so in order for you to do this question, you need to understand what these 3 points represent in this particular problem. So first, this function over here, you see the exponent? The highest exponent is 3, which means that x has 3 values, okay? And those values, the values of x, is where those values are going to intersect the x-axis. In other words, those are the values of x when y equals 0. So these 3 points over here, the x values on these 3 points are the 3 values of x. Okay, with that being said, now I can solve for this c. I can solve for c because I know what x is. X could be one of those 3 points. So they gave me 2 because 1 is p, and I can, but I don't care because I have 2 that I can pick to substitute into this equation so I can find c. So I am going to use -4. Okay, that's my value of x. That's one of the value of x. So now I'm going to take my equation and I'm going to substitute x for -4. So I'm going to put, remember, f of x is going to be 0. So now I'm going to have 0 equals 2 times x, but x is -4. So it's going to be -4 to the third power, and that's going to be plus 3 times x to the second power. Remember, x is -4 to the second power, and then plus c. I don't know c, so c stays, but I know x because it's c times x. X is -4. And then at the end, it says plus 8. Okay, so good. You only have one variable, so that means you can solve this equation. So now let's work it out. This stays at 0, so 0 is equal to. Now, order of operations says I gotta do the exponents first. So my exponent, I have -4 to the third power, and -4 to the third power is equal to -64 because I have a negative number and I have an odd exponent, so my answer is going to be negative. So that's going to be 4 times 4 times 4, or -4 times -4 times -4. So that's -64. And now I'm going to take the -64 multiplied by 2. And -64 times 2 gets me -128. So this gets me -128. So I found -4 to the third power, and then that answer multiplied by 2. Now I have here -4 to the second power. -4 to the second power is 16, because -4 times -4 is positive 16, and 16 times 3 is 48. So that gives me positive 48. So now I have plus 48. And now here, I don't know what c is. So c is going to stay, and I have -4 times c is -4c. And now plus 8. That 8 comes down because there's nothing to do with that 8 right now. Okay, my equation is looking better. I still have 0 here on this side. So now I'm going to combine my like terms. My like terms are all my numbers, -28 plus 48 plus 8. This is not a like term because that one has a variable. So now I have -128 plus 48 plus 8. That gets me -72. So I have -72 minus 4c, and that equals to 0. So now this is a two-step equation, so I'm going to move the 72 to the other side by doing the opposite of negative 72, that is adding or positive 72. So when I do that, 0 plus 72 is 72 equals, and then negative 72 plus 72, they cancel because that equals 0, and then equals negative 4c. And now to get rid of that negative 4, I'm going to do the opposite. Remember, this is multiplication, so the opposite is to divide by negative 4. I divide by negative 4, and now 72 divided by negative 4 is equal to negative 18. So C is equal to negative 18, which is right here. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this question and that you understood. Thank you very much.